there is no rich man on earth that is a salary earner.
There's no rich man on earth who is a salary earner.
None. Everyone that is wealthy today, they don't depend on salary alone. Number 2, there is no rich man on earth that has only one source of income.
Never.
Not one. Number 3, every rich man on earth, all of them without fail, real estate is part of what they use to retain their wealth. In order for you to become rich and wealthy, number 1, you need financial intelligence, you need delayed gratification, you need savings, you need multiple streams of income. I now began to practice also. That's when I started writing books. I've written over 100 books right now. Now, but the books were already in me. So today now, you see a lot of people out there, they have gifts, but they are not trading their gifts. Money flows in exchange for goods and services. Money flows in exchange for value. So that's your gift. You must turn it into a product or a service that you can exchange for money. You can be gifted and poor. People can celebrate you and say, we have a lot of, poor celebrity beggars now that are just celebrity because they say they are in show business. They know the show. They don't know the business of the show. But the business that know the business of the people that know the business of the show, nobody knows them. But they are the one making the real money. And that one is just doing bling bling. Poor man out there, and then they will now begin to cry that they use me. When you sign, your eye not clear. They force you. It's poverty that made you to sign. You signed it as a poor man. Now you have seen glory. Now you will serve your sentence. Do you understand now? So I don't know if
no, this is really very, very eye-opening. But I go ask, they go tell everybody say go school, education, and all. People go if we go by the the system in Nigeria here, 6 years primary school, 6 years secondary school,
study this,
4
study
years
economy,
university,
study banking and finance.
And the whole idea is once you acquire this education,
you work for somebody.
You will break free from the shackles of poverty.
You're good to go.
And you are good to go. But it can't be like say the school waiting that they teach us, not be waiting.
Okay, so let's understand this. Because the challenge we have is that we don't realize that change is the only constant in life. What is true today may be a lie tomorrow. But it doesn't mean it was not true yesterday.
What is true today may be a lie tomorrow.
But it doesn't mean it was not true yesterday. It's because life is lived forward but understood backward. And as we evolve, we learn. Everybody here, there's one statement you have made in your life. If I knew what I know now. Everybody on earth, if you have never made that statement, you are a madman. That means you are not growing. It was during the industrial age that education came. So during the industrial age, education was set up to take people from the farming slave to factory slave. So they now say, okay, all the intelligent ones that are here now, let's gather them, because this guy be like, say, he gets some brain. If you tell them something, if they know how to plant, they answer, put them together and create a curriculum and teach them so that they will know how to handle the factory. Because from orange, we need to produce orange juice. And we need to cancel. They now created courses. Okay, this is accounting. This is chemistry. Question. The first person that became an accountant, who certified him? So somebody sat down and said, come, let's create it. I do curriculum now, so I know what I'm talking about. I've created curriculum that does not exist before, that I created. And it's now existing because I created it. So somebody said, okay, let's do one, we call it accounting. But that person that was creating the curriculum, he himself is not certified. Because nobody certified. He's now the pioneer and the progenitor of a new. That's how all these courses were created. And it was not, schools were not created to make you rich. They were created to discipline and train you to function the way those that need you want you to function. So if you meet with elderly people in their 70s or in their 80s, and they are to ask you, they won't ask you what course do you study. They will say, what is your discipline? That's what they won't say, what course do you study? Yes. They say, what is your discipline? That means, what have you been disciplined to become? That's why all your life you have an identity. You go to school, when you come out, they say, what's this? I say, I'm doctor, I'm engineer. You forget your name. You now start introducing yourself with the title they give you. Because you went to school to be trained to become what they want you to become. So there was nothing wrong in education in the days of our parents. But what they did not realize was that the colonial masters were using this for a purpose. That is why we still have the problems today. So when you go to school, they teach you to become this, and then you become it. But the world has evolved. We have moved from industrial age now. We are now in the age of technology. We are in what we call the fourth industrial revolution. The fifth one is emerging now. So all those things now, don't forget that when we were growing up, if you say you want to be an actor, say, hear me, you want to be a footballer, hey, village people. Today now everybody wants to be a footballer. But all those things have now expired. Now everybody wants to move to the next level, IT, tech, and all the tech. So that's so now, when you go to school, you learn, you come to use. But in order for them to keep you for 5 years or 4 years, they have to teach you what you need and what you don't need. And most of the textbooks were given by the Westerners to deceive you. That's why they will say Mungo Park came to discover you. Are you all right?
Mungo Park,
so you exist, then somebody can't discover you. If you didn't exist, will you be discovered? They say you are discovered. It's because of all these problems. So now, over 80% of what you learn in school today is useless when you graduate.
Over 80%.
Yes.
It's useless. When
You
you
IDX.
over 80% is useless. Now, number two, the world that existed when you do, is it the matric they will do first? I mean, convocation.
Matric first,
Matriculation.
convocation last.
The world that existed when you did matric, by the time you are doing convocation with the next gown, that world is no more in existence. Because every 5 years there's a new world. 2019 and now are two different worlds. Pre-COVID, post-COVID. Before, in 2019, nobody will ask you, is it virtual? It was not in our vocabulary. That's a new word. Before 2019, nobody will say, I want to work remotely. So if you are still now oppressing, no, you cannot do this. It's because you are still an analog mind in a digital age. You don't realize that things have changed. So companies are now rewriting policies, rewriting HR policy. Why? Because it's a new world. So people that are now telling you go to school, go and study this, go and study that, they are not bad people, but they are expired people. They are sincere, but they are sincerely wrong. They are telling you to go and do something that is useless. They are telling you to go and prepare to solve problem of yesterday instead of preparing you to solve tomorrow's problem. So today, if like 15 years ago, if you say you are a drone pilot, it doesn't exist.
Yes.
I'm into animation. I'm into gaming. It doesn't exist. So if you now go to your mother now, your father, mother, maybe like chief with dress like you say, daddy, and study animation. So what? Are you an
animal? Are you an animal?
That's the way it is. True. Many of the comedians, footballers, actors, and actors today, their parents disowned them when they went to Nollywood. Disowned them when they went to music. Today, everybody wants their children. So that's the same way parents are disowning their children now. For saying, you are just jobless, you don't want to go to school. What is animation? What is this? Because they don't realize. So in our own days, people were sent to school to go and study a course that will put a prefix before their name.
Yes.
Engineer, doctor,
Barrister.
architect, barrister,
lawyer.
because most of the parents wanted to live through the life of their children.
Yeah.
So what they could not achieve, they want to achieve
Mama
through the life
lawyer,
of their children.
Mama doctor,
But
Mama
now
priest.
those things they are useless now.
Father.
So am I saying don't go to school? No, we need to redefine education. As a matter of fact, you can go to my YouTube channel at Dr. Olumide Emmanuel on YouTube. I just did a series this last October. So most of those series you people see is October I do, because the whole of October in our church I focus on finance. So it was October 2022 that I did before you joined the Jackpot bandwagon. I did a whole series on that just to help, because nobody said don't jackpot, but face reality before you go. Then I've done savings culture. Now I've done redefining education, part 1 to 4, just to help you understand. Look, all this one one of my guys. Because many parents now, the majority of what they spend their money on is house rent, feeding, and school fees.
Yes.
To go and spend money. Many of us keep our life on hold to train children for 15, 17 years to go and study a course that will be useless to them and useless to us, because we are still living in those days. So many of these courses, they are no more relevant. So go to school to study a course that will solve today and tomorrow's problem. Not yesterday's problem. Because with the advent of AI, fourth industrial revolution, animatics, robotics, 3D printing, forget it all. All these courses you are studying is useless. So if you say you are doing medical doctor, medicine is expiring. Right now, medicine has expired up to 70%. We are 30% of medicine, because there is nothing you want to do in medicine that AI cannot do, that machine cannot do, that robots cannot do. So if you are going to study medicine now, you are wasting your life away. And people are still starting now. They are entering school year 1 to go and do 7 years, and they will spend 50,000, 100,000. They will spend money, dollar, borrow money, student loan for the next 15 years. Now, why am I saying don't do that? Because the need are limited. So if we used to need 2 billion doctors, now we need 500,000. Just using that as a statistic. So the need is now reduced. And if all of you are rushing there, you will have nothing to do. So go and do my research. Fact check this. Majority of people now have master's degree that they are not using.
Yes.
Why? Because by the time they finish school, no job. Oh yeah, Kuku will master, Child will master, they'll do master. By the time they now want to get a job, they will now use the BSc to go and get a job, because they can't get a job with the master. So there are a lot of people with masters now working with the lower degree. So what is all that? You are a master over nothing. Why? Because schools don't teach you financial intelligence. So everybody's going to school. When you now finish the school, you now want to look for a job. Who should now create the job?
That
So
you are
any
looking
education
for.
that is not teaching you how to become a job creator is a useless education. Any education that is not equipping you to begin to earn and add value to the environment is a expired education. So we're not saying don't go to school, get us right. But we're saying if you are going to go to school, the way the creator intended it is everybody is born with gift, talent, and potential. Everything that the spider needs to spin a web is inside the spider. Your gold is tied to your gift. Your treasure is tied to your talent. Your profit is tied to your potential. So the way you're supposed to do is discover what you have. Then you now go and train to develop what you have. Then you deploy it. So if you know people have studied medicine that are now fashion designer. People have studied architecture that are now cooks. So if you know you are a cook, once you have discovered that it's cooking, go to cooking school straight. Spend 1 year and start selling.
Sorry, he said something that when you realize what it is that you have inside, learn, go and study that. Now, how do people realize that thing that they have? Because I've had this question asked so many times. How do I know my gifts? Organi, do you know you can act? You know you can present? You know you can do this? How do I know mine? So how would you say that they can find out what gifts they have so that they can hone it more? Let
me run through that. Coincidentally, the answer is actually in the School of Money book, Things to the Board. But you see, number one, that's where parenting starts from. Unfortunately, we have a lot of children are getting married to children. Dysfunctional man getting married to dysfunctional woman, starting dysfunctional marriages, raising dysfunctional children. And that's why we have a dysfunctional society. Normally, it is the parents' job to identify. You don't have children. God gives you children to be a steward over them. Part of what you steward is to steward. Children are arrows. Arrow does not fly. Arrow cannot do anything. You are the bow, they are the arrow. So when God gives you an arrow, you are supposed to now shoot them. The more you pull them back, the more they can go further. So you are supposed to look at it. I think this girl likes this. So many people have discovered that their daughter likes dancing and acting. Never. My daughter dancer, no, she must be medical doctor. They now divert the destiny of their children. So it's when you identify, you start sending her to ballet school, start sending her to music school. So before you know it, by the time she's 16, she's already having her own business and she's doing what she needs to do. So it begins with parents identifying it. If parents don't identify it, then these are the things you need to look for. So if you are listening to me right now, number one, what do you love to do? What is that thing that you love doing it? That you just love it? What is that thing that if you are doing it, you don't get tired?
It comes easy.
It just comes easy. People will struggle. I've written over 100 books today. How did I know I was good at writing? I just love writing. And what is that thing that is so easy for you to do, but difficult for others to do? Because when I discovered this writing, I was in school in Polytechnic, and then when what they call this, is it literary debater or this press club or something? So they'll just say, write about this, submit next week. I say, one that just reach the next day, say, I say, this is just flow. Then I will hear people say, I've been trying to write a book for 3 years. I say, they have writer's block. I'm like, what's that? Me, where are they? I've written 8 books in 1 day before. This School of Money, I wrote it in 9 days. This one, I wrote it in 5 days. This book here, I just went to my house in London, sat down for 1 week, no sleeping, that's what I write. People wonder, say, is it good? No, I used to write with paper and biro. I only recently started typing. I'm old school like that. Why? It's grace. So when I realized that, this thing is grace, I sat down there. I began to develop it. So what is that thing that even if they don't pay you, you will still do it?
Yes.
Those are your passion. Then number 4, what are the things that people see and say about you? You see a lot of people, they say, you too talk. That means something about your mouth. There's something about your mouth. So when a woman was talking about the fact that they say your child talks too much, he talks too much, he too, they complain. God say, why are you complaining? Pray for him that God will give him something to say that people will pay for. And that's how the woman changed it. And the guy is a major guy now, charging $40,000 to do 1 hour speech. So what are the things that people are saying about you? Sometimes you are not a pastor, say, pastor, they'll be calling you a lawyer, engineer. They are calling you what they are saying. Next, what are the things that people find it easy to support you about? There are some things you want to do, nobody wants to support you. But some things, they say, if you want to do that, I will support you. Say, why am I? Because provision. Where there's a vision, there's a provision. So we go for vision. So whatever you find it easy for people to support you, when you ask for it, people are ready to help you. Even when you're there, if you are ready for this, I will do it. Why are they ready to pay for this one? Where I want to do, they're not ready. That means there's something there. So those are all the signs. What are the things that you can give 100% of your life to? That if that's all you have to do, you do it. Those are the pointers to what your passion is. What are the experiences you have gone through that you have conquered? Because God always brings us out of a misery and create a ministry out of that misery. So most of the time, people that are into healing ministry, they have been sick before. People that are into prosperity ministry, they have been poor before. Most of the time, God brings you out to send you back to where he brought you out from, to go and set people free with the same freedom he has given you. But in this part of the world, we want to hide our past and hide our experiences. But those are the pointers to your future, because vision is hindsight. based on vision is foresight, based on insight with the benefit of hindsight. So vision is foresight.